Peace,
What's
peace.
going on, my brother?
How you feeling?
How you feeling? Apologize for the delay, man. I got kids running around the house. You know how you go. You know how you
I
go.
know how it go, man. I'm a patient individual. I
Yeah.
know how it go.
How's the situation? I got the phone sideways. It look good. It look good over there. Cause you kind of sideways. Should I be like that right there? Is that better for y'all?
That's perfect.
That's better. That's better right there.
How
See
you
that?
feeling?
Blessed, man. Too blessed to stress.
No doubt. I appreciate you for
You know what I
joining me
mean?
this evening, man.
Anytime, brethren. Anytime, man. I appreciate the shout out. You know what I mean? The request. So anytime that anybody requests, man, we always try to be there.
No doubt. This is episode 130 of History Lessons. I am with Jamal from the Bush Babies. Like I said, thank you for joining me. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're
Boom.
right here with us on a Friday night. And we're going to get into a little history lesson and work our way up to what you guys are currently up to. So, Mr.
Okay.
Jamal, if you could take us back to where you were born and raised.
Man, okay. So I was born in Harlem Hospital. I was born in Harlem Hospital, but then I moved back to Jamaica actually. So I kind of a lot of people came from Jamaica here. My mom sent me back because we was living kind of, rough. So it was like, it was a better choice. You know what I mean? So I went down there and I went to boarding school in Jamaica as a youth. So, but I was born in Harlem, Harlem Hospital.
Cool. So, would you say your teenage years were in Jamaica or back in New York?
Yeah. No. Teenage years was in Jamaica. Yeah, I mean, like my first fight, learned to drive a car, first girl, first everything was in Jamaica. Like,
Take us back to the
yeah.
teenage years of Jamal in Jamaica.
Boy, like I said, I was in a boarding school, brethren. So it was like no parents. So everything was, imagine your sleepaway camp, but for school all year. So for me, it was like, and then I guess, let's see, I moved. By the time I was teenage, you got to see Jamaica is a different place. Like I was driving a car at 13. You know what I'm saying? So like, you could walk into the bar and get a beer technically at that time. I don't know now. I'm not going, in Jamaica now, but yeah, at that time, 15, 16, you could I get a beer. You could, you could kind of, I was a little ahead of the curve age-wise, you know what I mean? Like we was
Right.
taking buses, moving all around the island. But I was really into sports mostly back then. It was sports and music. It was beating on the table, dance hall tracks beating on the table, or sports. That's all it was, man.
Gotcha. What kind of obstacles, if any, do you think you had to face growing up in Jamaica as a teenager?
Well, so I mean, so when you're there at the time, you got regular kid issues. You know what I mean? Like whoever you having a fight with, whoever you got beef with, whatever girl you talking to got an attitude with you, just regular stuff. But looking back, the wisdom now to be able to look back, it's just all the struggles most of us had, man. Like nobody really guiding you. You know what I mean? Like you just there, you just out there, you competing. Whoever's the fastest, whoever got the best lyrics, whoever could jump the highest, run the fastest, they get the most props. So you start trying to do one of those.
Right.
But probably my biggest obstacle was probably just not having a pops, man, like everybody else. You know what I mean? Just not
Right.
having no guidance.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
So through your formative years as a teenager, what is Jamal listening to? Who are some of your earlier musical influences?
Well, okay, so Super Cat was number one. Super Cat was number one.
The
Number one,
Dandada,
number one,
original
number one.
Jamaican Dandada.
Number one. And before, I mean, I'm talking Sibups there, which if you're a reggae fan, lover, whatever, it was the bridge. So for me, it was Super Cat in Jamaica. Every reggae artist, first of all, right? Every reggae artist, Shabba, blah, blah. But if you ask me to pick one, then in Jamaica it was Super Cat. And then when I came to New York, I remember walking with my mom's one of the Avs, and they had the bootleg tapes out, and I heard KRS, and I heard KRS, The Bridge Is Over, which for those of you that know, The Bridge Is Over, boom, 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 boom. To me, that was Sibup's Dead. That's Super Cat's track. That's not The Bridge Is Over to me. To me, that's Sibup's Dead. So when I'm listening to it, I'm hearing this, and then I hear KRS come on it rapping, and I'm like, yo, wait. So they taking the reggae beats and then they put in the hip hop dude. Oh, I got something for them. I was like, yo, I'm about to take all them hip hop beats and I'm gonna be chatting on all them joints.
Right.
So honestly, KRS-One was really that catalyst for me to say, yo, if they doing it like that, I could do it like this. And then I started getting on the hip hop beats because I heard him rocking on the reggae. So
Right.
that simple little, little seed right there just grew for me. But
Right.
Supercat in Jamaica and KRS-One when I got to US.
While in Jamaica, what would you say was some of your first, seeing hip hop slash Jamaican artists live and direct? What was some of your first events, or some of the
You
things
mean
that
you mean seeing like
visually,
the
visually?
combination? Seeing the
No, just
combination?
being,
Or
it's different to hear stuff on the radio, but what was you seeing visually around the way, musically?
so luck I was blessed enough that, like I said, Jamaica's a different place, right? So I was at stage shows behind the stage, at 15, 14, 15, and there was a dude named Papa San who is a foundation reggae artist, Papa San. He used to have a song, big out here, Lord, me can't take it no more. No, 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 no. If you know hip hop, that was big in the clubs too. But um, he used to rock out all the stage shows. Like he was one of those artists that was at every big stage show. And I had taken a flight with him, and I'm not gonna be too long-winded, I promise myself, but it's hard because when the stories
It's
come
all
up. So
good.
here, all
Yeah,
right, so
we got time.
so this the story go like this. So I was taking a flight probably like 13, 14, because I would come back in the summers to see my mom. So I was taking a flight and I was with my aunt, God rest her soul, and Aunt Carlene. And we happened to get bumped up. I don't know, Aunt Carlene was a nurse, so she flew a lot back and forth, but she got us bumped up to first class, my first time in first class. So I'm in first class, which I can't believe I was in first class. When I really think about it, like, damn, my next first class flight was probably like 20 years later. But I happened to be in first class as a youth. And it was Wayne Wonder, Shaba, and Papa San. And they was on the plane. So when we was getting on the plane, I've been seeing them. I'm a teenager, so these is music heads. I'm on it. I'm looking like, yo, Jano. We get on the plane, and then my aunt is sitting here, and Shaba is on the end, and then I'm over here by the window. So I'm excited, dude. I'm like, Shaba. Like, we don't got no cell phones, so I got to tell people. I don't have no proof. Yo, and Papa San was talking to me, after the flight, before the flight, one of those before we got on, and I told him I'm a big fan, and he invited me to the stage show, and that kind of developed me following, going up to him all the time. Yo, what's up, San? Remember me? And so that connection really, and he was cool, man. Like he was like, oh, come youth, stand up right here, and like he made me feel like, yo, I could be a part of this. So I say that to say, I hope that the young cats, older heads do more of that with each other. You know what I mean? Because it's important, Dread. It's important. Them little things is important. And you'll
Right.
hear cats from, care who, Drake, Jay-Z, Wayne, they could tell you stories about before they was on and what that meant to them when somebody gave them that salute, that head nod. So the punchline is this. We on the plane and Shaba at the end. And my aunt started using lotion. She one of them Jamaican ladies going, get nice on the plane. She getting right for the plane flight. So she had put on the lotion and everything. She straightening up. She putting and it's first class, so she getting real nice with it. Shaba say, excuse me, mom. Yo, well respectful, Jamaican style, Caribbean style. Yo, excuse me, mom. Can I borrow your lotion? So I'm saying, yeah, she said, no problem. She gave him the lotion. Now, Shaba got about 9 rings on. You know what I mean? He have on all of the, but he taking them off. He lotioning up. And I'm like, yo, I'm just giddy. I don't even know what I was doing at that point. Shaba slid off the shoes. He slid off the shoes and took the lotion and hit the feet off. He hit the feet off with the lotion. Then my boy, my aunt, I see my aunt face. You know what I mean? She's screw facing now. She's screw facing now. Yo, and the man, she didn't say nothing. Then he took the napkin. In the first class, they give you the nice napkin. Ain't the paper ones. They give you the joint rolled up. And he took out the joint and he started wiping off the excess lotion. My aunt jumped on his head. My aunt was like, listen, I didn't say anything before, but you cannot use the people linen like that. Yo, I shrunk into the corner like, yo, I should talk to Shaba like that. And yo, Shaba's response was so dope because he just turned to her and said, no, you're right, mom. You're right. Sorry. You know what I mean? Like he just, you feel me? Like, yo, enough money, jewels, everything. But the way he received her as an elder, you know what I mean? Them things stood out to me to this day. You know what I mean? So I never was trying to be too disrespectful or.
Right.
So them kind of things is important, yo. I mean, I know it's old school. It seems old school now, but I know people crave for it. So that's why I wanted to kind of tell that little story when it popped in my head, man.
Absolutely. Can you give us a time frame of this right now?
That happened in probably like 89, 90.
Okay.
This is before Shaba and KRS-One.
Okay.
This is before Shaba exploded. This is before Trailer Lord. This is before Trailer Lord. This is before all of that. Right? This is before Ting-a-ling-a-ling. All of that. This is before his U.S.
Girls Every Day.
Yeah, that was before all of that.
Right.
That was before him and KRS linked up. That's cross-color days.
Yeah.
Called Kanai. Pre-called Kanai.
Right. Gotcha.
Right, yeah.
So you talked about how you developed your style and jumping on hip hop records. Can you take us back to how you officially jumped on those and what year and started developing your style a little more?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, KRS-One was the first I heard, and then Video Music Box, big up Ralph McDaniels. He that's the underground kind of video show in New York that we all grew up on. Still rocking to this day. You could check him out too. He used to play all the old school joints that I didn't really grow up with because I was in Jamaica, but I used to catch up on them. And one of them he played was Grand Puba's first group before Brand Nubians, which was called Masters of Ceremony. And they had a singer, Don Barron. And he was light skinned. He was like my complexion, you know what I mean? And he was a tall dude. But he was singing. He wasn't rapping. It was higher than the highest mountain, baling, 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 and deeper. And then Puba came with the smooth rap,
Right.
But they was jumping out the square bends, and they was in the party, and so those was like the OGs that I would look at. And then Heavy D, God rest his soul. Heavy D was real influential when I finally, met him and stuff. He was real supportive all the time,
Right.
So yeah, it was always around. And then, kind of like if you from something or if you buy a new BMW, you start seeing the car everywhere. You know what I mean? So if you Jamaican, then your ear picks up on it.
Right.
So I would just always look for that. So Masters of Ceremony was probably the second I ran into just in my hunt. And then Heavy D was real influential too. But all in between that was all the activity, right? I mean, whether it was Mad Cobra, or whether it was, you know what I mean? Even Tiger, or you might not remember like Cutty Ranks. Yeah,
Cutty.
Stop. You know what I mean? So like all of those things. And then in New York, it was just woven into what we do. Like, if you go into a hip hop club, they're gonna play reggae. You know what I mean? And it's not at the end of the night either. Like, it's not like, all right, bye, we gonna throw some reggae on. Like, nah, it's while shit is jumping. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of the peak segments is the reggae segment. And then of course now producers get with it, and then it started to really flourish. So like you hear like the Capleton remix on the Slick Rick joint, which sounds like would blow everybody's mind because it sounded like it belonged together. But then we love Slick Rick's joint. It ain't take nothing away from that, obviously.
Right.
But then it didn't lose a step when it came on in the club. So we would literally go from Children's Story to, you know what I mean? After me left from Jamaica, go a foreign pantour. Right from Slick Rick. And it was like, oh, the club, it was seamless. So for us, it made sense. Like I know the rest of the country wasn't as heavy as we was, but for me in New York, right, I didn't lose a step, you know.
Right.
And then Flatbush, that's just all of Flatbush is straight, you know.
Right.
Is always that.
Earlier
It's always
on,
that, man.
what did you do? What kind of dues did you pay to get your name known out there?
Oh, we don't have enough time for that, Bridget. That's a
Just give
whole
us.
separate. That's a whole separate interview. Like, I mean, yo, we paid every dues you can think of, man. We stood outside the radio station.
Well, I'm
You
saying
know, we
let's go into
mm,
pre Bush babies. You
okay,
personally, what did you do to get your name? Or were you always in a group, or were
okay.
you?
So to be so okay, so that the honest answer to that is nothing. I didn't really pay any dues. I was like 16, 17. I
Okay.
just landed from Jamaica and I just was trying to, at the time, so the way I met Mr. Man first, and then he folded me in. Um he had met Lee Major at a different show in Brooklyn. And then there was like a competition show going on in the city. And some people I went to school with um that had just came, I just came from Jamaica fresh, so they trying to put me on, like, yo, you need to come by here, you need to go here, and I'm solo, I don't know nobody. So I went and and got a little shirt together, ironed the joint out, and I'm on the train going up there by myself. But then I seen someone I knew, and he told me, yo, they doing an MC competition. I think it was like 500, 300. It was some money. It was more than $100, which to me at the time was a lot. So I just, I didn't know nobody, but I knew, just like back home, if you could run fast, if you can rap on the mic, if I could do something, then I'm gonna get love. So I just posted in the corner and let everybody keep going. And then once I caught one of the instrumentals that I knew I could ride, it was a hip hop beat. I kind of went over to the dude and was like, yo, that beat right there, can you put that aside for me? And he's like, I got you. Put it down. And I just kept jumping it back. Yo, you going? You going? I'll go last. I'll go last. It's good. And then when they all went, because I knew the shock value. You see what I mean? I knew that when they see me, they're going to think Puerto Rican youth. And then when they hear me start chatting, then it's going to, you know what I mean? That's going to be my end.
Right.
So, yeah, I went up and it was an instrumental and threw it on. I went last and it was one of those, like I said, Papa San was known for marathon lyrics, which is just like going till the beat shut off. So that's what I would do, I would write, make sure I had long joints. Simple, but long. And I did that. I just rode the hip hop beat till the beat cut off and I kept going. But the style was very like, I mean, I don't even remember, it was like, it was just rapid, it was just, when you're talking about, like, you are talking about me, and then you know what I mean? And it was just like that for the whole beat. And it was all like, this thing. And then it wasn't boring, I guess. I was fresh from yard, so it was a vibe. And I won. And they gave me the bread. So I was feeling myself, everybody talking to me, and I ain't know nobody, but Khalil asked me for my number. Mr. Man asked me for my number, and I shot him my math. And then he paged me one day when I was leaving school, and I hit him back on the phone, and he was like, "Yo, doing this group, I seen you." I was trying to just get in where I fit in. So to answer your question of, I ain't really pay no dues before them. Once I linked with them though, because Mr. Man was working at I believe Tommy Boy at the time. So he was like, around Dayline, around, you know what I'm saying? He was around all of them cats. And he was an intern. And so he knew the ropes. He knew like, we gotta go to this radio station, we gotta go here, we gotta go here. So we was just all through the city, man. Anywhere a token could take you, we was up there putting our Bush Baby stickers places and just, freestyling. West Fourth Park. We would go to West Fourth Park where they ball and where they, you know what I'm saying? Because we knew a lot of industry people would be in the city. So we would always go to the city and just rhyme all day.
Right.
I would really do the hooks, to be honest. You know what I mean? The reggae dude, I would do the hooks and then everybody come with their bars.
Right.
That's really how it went.
Can you take us back to what were some of the earlier conversations when you guys got together as a group? What was the direction that you guys wanted to go? What was some of that earlier conversations as far as the direction?
I mean, man, I told myself, I was like, yo, try not to be long-winded and try to be straight honest with you know what I mean? Because I want to make it sound like what people want to hear, but yo, brethren, we didn't know what we was doing. Mr. Man knew what he was doing more than most of us, you know what I mean? Because he was
Right.
an intern, so he had a sense of like, but brethren, looking back, hindsight, like discussions. Most of our discussions was like, yo, you did 16 bars, I only did 12, son. Like most of our discussions was trying to get yours in the group. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, we got too much reggae on there. Yo, what you mean we got too much reggae? You know what I mean? Like it was kids, man. It was
Right.
kids arguing over, but we had fun though. It was not a lot of arguing, it was more fun. And I think we didn't realize how blessed we probably was. We was just hungry, man, and just we got on and we was getting jerked. We didn't really make no money, but we was happy. We left the hood, we were touring, we were doing things.
Right.
So it felt like something. But cats that were older than us, they knew we was just young having fun. They tried to like every once in a while whisper to us like, yo, y'all need to we was just too young at the time.
Right. Did you guys eventually record a demo and shop, or did you immediately get with Warner Brothers?
So we used to go, like I said, no money and thing, you know what I mean? So we used to go see cats are blessed now, right? Because they go jump on the laptop, you know what I'm saying? Like for us, it was 2-track reels. Studio costs like $100 an hour. You know what I mean? There might be a $50 hour dub plate spot, but for you to go and record a demo meant like, you was popping, or a producer had maybe ADATs at the time, which was brand new. So demos was real tough to do, man. Like it was like, somebody had to be behind you kind of thing. But what we did was we would go into the offices. We kind of leapfrogged that because we were performing everywhere. So people would see us live, whether it was in the park, whether it was at Lyricist Lounge, which we was, when it was just a couch in an apartment. You know what I mean? That's when we was doing Lyricist Lounge, when most was playing the drums and we just all hanging out in the apartment. And Danny and Ant were dreaming of it becoming this bigger thing. You know what I'm saying? So for us, it was live performance. And then we would go into the office and perform. And then we got so much interest, they were like, yo, we flying y'all to Cali. Y'all need a demo though. And then at that point, we got a demo. Because at that point, they knew, all right, there's money with these young cats. So that we were able to, and as a matter of fact, we did it the night before we took the flight. We were finishing the demo in the Bronx somewhere. Matter of fact, I got that demo tape. A couple years back. We got the cassette of it. Somebody like, just off of nostalgia was like, yo, look what I got. I know y'all want this. And just gave it to us off the strength. You know what I mean? Just for the love.
Right.
So we leapfrogged the demo thing, live performances, and then we did that in offices. A lot of times great responses, but we was this too. I remember, I'm not gonna call no names, but I remember a cat in the office and we performing our hearts out, and he, yeah, I'm chilling. Some young cats doing their thing right now. Yeah. No, I'll hit you back in a little bit. While we mid bars, nigga taking calls. Yo, yeah.
Can you tell us which label and can we guess?
I don't even want to do that. But I'll tell you this to give you the funny part of it, because it don't matter. It don't matter who that he was on his journey, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. Like, but I saw him a couple years later waiting tables at a restaurant.
Wow.
That was on the corner of my family's crib and stuff. So I ain't say nothing. I ain't playing about. I ain't go order some food. Yo, my man, let me get the. I ain't do him like that. I just seen it. I seen it. And as a Jamaican thing, we say, long
Right.
run shot, catch. That's what we would say. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. It
Right.
took a while, but you feeling that karma kind of thing,
Right.